Hello children, so are you ready for the next chapter of the Faraway Tree adventures? We are on to chapter 6, A Shock for the Toys. How the children and the others ran. They knew well that if they were caught, they would be put into the toy fort, and then the land of toys would move away from the Faraway Tree. And then what would happen to them? Oh, goodness knows how long they might have to stay there. So they ran at top speed. Franny fell behind a little, so Jo took her hand to help her along. Panting and puffing, they raced down the streets of the land of toys, trying to remember where the hole was that led down through to the Faraway Tree. Jo remembered the way. He led them all to the hole, and there was the ladder. Oh, thank goodness. Down you go, cried Jo to Silky, Beth and Franny. Hurry, get into Moonface's room, quickly. Down the girls went, and then Rick, Moonface, Saucepan and Jo. Jo only just got down in time because a big teddy bear had almost caught them up, and as Jo went down, he reached out and tried to catch Jo's shirt. Jo jerked himself away. His shirt tore, and he half slid, half climbed down the ladder to safety. Soon he was in Moonface's house with the others. But what was this? The toys did not stay in their land. They poured down the ladder after the children and their friends. They're coming in here, yelled Moonface. Oh, why didn't we shut the door? But it was too late then to shut the door. Wooden soldiers, teddy bears and dolls poured into Moonface's funny round room, and Moonface, quick as a flash, pushed them all towards the middle of the room. The opening of the slippery slip was there, and one by one all the surprise toys fell into the hole and found themselves sliding wildly down the inside of the tree. As soon as Jo and the others saw what Moonface was doing, they did the same. Down you go, said Jo to a big teddy bear and gave it a good push. And down he went. A push for you, yelled Rick to a rag dog, and down she went. Soon the children could do no more pushing because they began to giggle. It was so funny seeing the toys rushing in, then being pushed down the slippery slide. Screaming, shouting and kicking. But after a while, no more toys came. Moonface shut his door and flung himself on his curved bed and laughed till tears ran down his cheeks. What will the toys do? Asked Jo at last. They'll climb back up the tree into the land of toys, said Moonface, drying his eyes. We'll see them out of my window. They won't cause us any more trouble. After about an hour, the toys began to come past Moonface's window slowly, as if they were tired. Not one of them tried to push open the door and get into Moonface's house. They're afraid if they don't get back to their land at once, it will move away, said Silky. Let's sit here and watch them and have a few Google buns and popcakes. I'm so sorry to have caused you all this trouble, said Saucepan Man. And I didn't bring anything back to eat either. You see, I really thought that when I got to the land of toys, it was the land of goodies, because one of the first things I saw was that shop selling toffee. And in the land of goodies, you could just take anything you like without paying. So I went into the shop and began to empty toffees out of a box. And that's why they put me in jail. It was dreadful. I was so glad to hear Jo singing. I knew at once you'd rescue me. This was a very long speech for Saucepan Man to make. He looked so unhappy and sorry that everyone forgave him for making such a silly mistake. Cheer up, Saucepan Man, said Moonface. The land of goodies will come along and we'll all go soon and visit it. Not just you, and we will have the biggest feast we've ever had. Oh, but do you think we should? Began Jo. Honestly, we seem to get in a fix every time we go up the ladder. I'll make sure that the land of goodies is there, said Moonface. Nothing can go wrong. Don't be afraid. I must say, Jo, you and Rick and Saucepan look very smart in your soldiers' uniforms. Are you always going to wear them? Oh, I forgot forgot we hadn't got our proper clothes, said Joe. Mother will be cross if we leave them in the land of toys. We left them under a bush near the fort. And I left my lovely kettles and saucepans in the fort, said Saucepan in a sad voice. I feel funny without them. I don't like being a soldier. I want to be a saucepan man. I'd like you to be dear old saucepan man too, said Silky. But it doesn't seem like you somehow dressed like that. But how are we going to get anything back? None of us want to go up to the land of toys again. Just then, 3 sailor dolls, last of all the toys, came climbing slowly up the tree. They were crying. Their clothes were torn and soaking wet. Moonface opened the door. What's the matter? What's happened to you? Awful thing, said the first sailor. We were climbing up the tree, and when we came to a window, we all peeped in, and a very angry pixie flew out at us and pushed us off the branch. And the faraway tree was growing thorns just then, and they tore our clothes to bits. And then a whole lot of washing water came pouring down the tree on top of us and soaked us. If only we could get some new clothes. Listen, cried Joe suddenly. Would you like to have our soldier uniforms? They're quite new and very good. Ooh, said the dolls together. We'd love that. Would you give us those? We'll get into trouble if we go back to the land of toys like this. We'll give you them on one condition. You must find our things in the land of toys and throw them down the ladder. We'll tell you where they are. We can easily do that, said the sailors. So Joe, Rick and Saucepan stripped off their lovely uniforms and gave them to the sailor dolls, who took off their torn blue clothes and dressed themselves in the soldiers' outfits. They looked very nice. Now you will find our clothes for us, won't you, said Joe. We are trusting you, you see. We're very trustworthy, said the dolls, and ran up the ladder after Joe had told them exactly where to find everything. Joe, Rick and Saucepan sat in their underwear and shivered a little because the uniforms had been worn. We'll look funny going home like this if those soldiers don't keep their promise, said Rick. As a matter of fact, I'd like to have kept that uniform. I liked it much better than my own clothes. And that's the end of chapter 6. So join me tomorrow for the last part of the book. Bye-bye, children.